came into my life like a ghost, silent, needing, and he changed everything. My hands ached. They ached all the time. A dull, throbbing protest against the endless cycle of wiping tables, carrying plates, and counting pennies that never seemed to add up. The diner was old, worn at the edges like me, but it was all I had. It was all that stood between me and the streets I feared. Each morning, the same cracked vinyl booth, the same lukewarm coffee that stung going down, the same faces, etched with their own silent burdens. I saw their lives in the way they held their forks, in the weariness around their eyes. I understood. Rent was 2 weeks overdue. Again, the landlord's gruff voice echoed in my head, a constant threat. Sleepless nights were spent calculating, juggling, trying to make impossible choices. Food or heat, medicine or the electric bill. It was a game I always lost. Then he started coming in. An old man, always alone, always quiet. He'd sit in the corner booth, the one furthest from the window, and just watch. His eyes were the color of faded denim, and held a sadness so profound it made my chest ache. He never spoke. He'd point to the menu, his finger trembling slightly, and I'd bring him the daily special, usually soup and bread. The softest thing on the menu, easy to swallow. He'd eat slowly, deliberately, as if savoring each spoonful. He never complained. He never smiled, just ate and watched. I noticed his clothes were old, mended in places. His shoes were scuffed, worn thin. He looked lost, forgotten. One day, it was colder than usual. Snow lashed against the windows, and the wind howled like a hungry wolf. Only a handful of customers braved the weather. He came in, shivering. I brought him his usual soup, but this time I added an extra pat of butter to his bread. Something warm, something comforting. As he ate, he looked up at me. His denim eyes held a flicker of something I couldn't quite decipher. Gratitude, maybe, or maybe just recognition. The next day he was back, same table, same order, but this time he left a larger tip. Not much, but enough for me to notice. It was more than he could probably afford. This became a pattern. He'd come in, I'd serve him, and he'd leave a little extra. Enough to ease the edges of my worry, just a little. I started to look forward to his visits. His silent presence was a strange comfort. In a world of noise and demands, his quiet stillness was a refuge. I felt oddly protective of him. One afternoon, I saw some teenagers mocking him outside the diner. They were pointing and laughing at his worn clothes. My blood boiled. I rushed out, ready to defend him. They scattered when they saw me coming, muttering insults under their breath. I turned to him, my heart pounding. "Are you okay?" I asked. He just nodded, his eyes downcast. He seemed ashamed. I helped him back inside and sat him at his usual table. I brought him a fresh cup of coffee on the house. He looked at me, his eyes filled with an emotion I couldn't name. He reached out and touched my hand, his fingers surprisingly strong. Then he took a napkin and a pen from his pocket. He wrote something on it slowly, carefully. He handed it to me. It was a single word, "Thank you." That was the first word I ever saw him communicate. Weeks turned into months. He was my silent regular. I learned to anticipate his needs. I knew how he liked his soup, how much butter he wanted on his bread. I even started saving him the softest rolls. One day, a sleek black car pulled up outside the diner. A man in a suit got out and came inside. He looked around, his eyes scanning the room. He stopped when he saw the old man in the corner booth. He approached him respectfully. "Mr. Harrison," he said, his voice low, "we've been looking for you." The old man looked up, startled. "Your family is worried, sir. They want you to come home, Mr. Harrison." The name didn't ring a bell. The man in the suit turned to me. "Are you the waitress who's been taking care of him?" I nodded, confused. "I'm his personal assistant. He has a condition that affects his speech. He hasn't been able to speak for a while." My mind raced. The assistant rummaged in his briefcase. "Mr. Harrison is a very, very generous man. He was the founder of Preston Northrop. He wants this to be presented to you." It was an envelope with my name. Inside was a check with more zeros I had ever seen. I looked from the man in the suit to the silent old man, my heart pounding in my chest. He was watching me, his denim eyes filled with amusement. He wasn't just a lost, forgotten old man. He was someone important, someone powerful. He was a billionaire. The man in the suit continued. He wandered away from his estate a few months ago. He's been enjoying a simpler life. I still couldn't speak. The check felt heavy in my hand, unreal. Mr. Harrison smiled. It was the first time I'd ever seen him smile. It transformed his face, making him look younger, almost carefree. He took another napkin and wrote something else. He handed it to me. "Pay it forward." The man assisted him to the car. Before he got in, he turned back to me. He raised his hand in a silent farewell. Then he was gone. I looked down at the check, then back at the empty booth. My hands, still aching, trembled. I didn't cash it right away. I kept it in my apron pocket, a constant reminder. Not of the money, but of the man. The silent old man who had seen something in me that I hadn't seen in myself. I paid off the rent. I fixed the leaky roof of the diner. I bought new shoes that didn't scream with every step I took. I also started volunteering at a local soup kitchen. I served the same simple meals I had served him. Soup and bread. The softest food I could find. I never saw him again. But I often thought of him, sitting in his corner booth, watching the world go by. His silent presence had taught me more than any words ever could. He gave me a check, yes. He gave me financial freedom, but he also gave me something more valuable. The understanding that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact. That even the most silent among us have something to offer. He came into my life like a ghost, and he left me with hope.